Hey, beauty pros, welcome to Beauty Business Breakthroughs. My name is Shara, your guide to success in the beauty industry. In each episode, I'm going to be sharing my tips, tricks, and real life experiences. Plus, we'll bring in industry experts to drop their game-changing advice. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, get ready for practical insights that will elevate your beauty business. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. I have the pleasure of speaking with Attaliah. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me today.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Of course. So I am a nurse turned entrepreneur. I did what a lot of people did and Googled how to make money online, which then I started a blog online with the zero experience. And I started sharing my journey on Instagram, and I was actually doing a travel blog. And then the pandemic hit. And so everything shut down. And I was like, hey, let me just learn this app and see how I can grow. I actually fell more in love with marketing than the travel blogging aspect. I still do blog and I still love to blog, but I loved kind of seeing those pieces, like why somebody likes something, why somebody shares something, why somebody engages in type of content. And so that led me into doing social media management. And so I worked for about a year and a half with a multi-million-dollar company doing and running their social media management, ended up doing a little bit more than that, and them with their email marketing and setting different things up. And so that led me then to understand that a lot of these big companies aren't really doing anything different other than the fact that they're trying the new things out. So if you're listening, you can definitely do what every big company is doing. The only difference is they're trying things out. And that led me to shift and start working with clients, small businesses, and helping them grow on social media, grow their email marketing, and mostly fill in the gaps into their monetization so that they can create multiple streams of.
I love it. And it's so funny because even people will ask me sometimes, oh, where's your background from? And so hearing your transition of events, especially during the pandemic, and you're like, okay, now I can't travel. What next? And things of that nature. And I've been following you for some time. We follow each other. And I 100% know that the way that you show up online is very engaging. I myself will even sometimes screenshot your stuff and send it to my social media manager. And I'm like, I love the way she does this. It's very engaging. It's captivating. So knowing that somebody like yourself who comes from a nursing background, right, can go and transition into this marketing and social media and that space, right, for the lack of a better word, not having that background and be able to be so successful in that space, and not only be successful in that space for yourself, but be able to then help others and guide others and teach others is a great story for you. And like I said, and being able to provide that to not only your followers, but other people. I love it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome. So what do you feel like is your specialty, something that you really feel passionate about, your expertise?
So content creation is one, and then being able to monetize off of that content. So I am just like, first of all, I'm like screenshotting my stuff. It makes me so happy because when I think about creating different things online, I don't want to look like other people. And I think that's everyone. You don't want to just be posting the same different things. You don't want to have the same Canva graphic as everybody because we're in this space where people want to stand out. And I just really believe in the storytelling aspect of content. And so with each piece of content that I create, I want to tell a story and take you along with me.
And you know what? You do a great job of that. And I'm sure that as you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking back, not only in my own journey, but I'm sure that you can relate to this, where you think back of where you started and where you are now and that transformation of whether it's 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, not only on your static page, right, but also in your content ideas and the way that you show it and all of those things. Did you have a mentor? Did you have somebody that inspired you? Or I know for me, when I started out, people would ask me like, oh, who's your mentor? Who is your leader? Who are you looking at? And I'm like, I don't have somebody. I didn't necessarily have somebody in the beauty industry that I looked up to, but I tend to follow people who I enjoy their content and their ideas and the way that they showcase themselves and all of that, even if they're in a different niche or industry than me. So did you have somebody like that you tailored your stuff from, or?
So I think at the very beginning, from the very beginning, I was scared to invest in myself, right? We're all scared to invest in yourself.
Right.
And that was actually like my husband made the first investment for me into this like Instagram course just to learn basics of Instagram. And in that course, I learned the foundations. And one of the main things that I learned was just getting the style of creating your own style. So it was really like sitting down and journaling of what do you want your content to look like? What do you want people to feel with your content? And then from there creating. But as time has gone on, I've had different mentors because I do believe at all times in mentorship. And if you want to get somewhere quicker, then obviously you can pay somebody to help you get there. And I had different people to help me with that. And one thing I do is I follow people that are not the same, like in my niche. And so I follow probably a lot of mom bloggers. I follow a lot of beauty people. And it's because I see things that they're doing and I'm like, oh, how can I turn this into like social media? So I really take my content and I'm like, okay, how do I turn this? I never see something and I'm like, okay, I really love this. Let me copy it. But more of, oh, I really love this. Like what sparked up in my brain, what came first, and taking that spark, creating from that place.
And that's literally exactly what I have done, even to this day. So originally I would follow people, real estate, somebody who was in the real estate industry, somebody who was a food blogger or somebody who was traveler or whatever. And they're posting something, but whatever it is that they were posting, like you said, it would spark something in me. And I'm like, oh, how can I take that same concept or that idea and how can I make that my own? How can I put my own twist on it for the beauty industry? And so that's where I got a lot of my ideas and inspiration from. And I still even do that to this day with somebody who I have a social media manager. I will send her things and I'm like, hey, how can we put our own twist on this? Let's use it for this, or here's our whatever twist and idea, or give her some feedback or whatever. And that for me has been great because I'm not a creative person. So for somebody like some of my followers who are struggling with ideas, lately I have been helping and posting every Monday, hey, here's some content ideas that you can be posting with behind the scenes, or come with me for a day. This is what it looks like to do business with. Here's a highlight of maybe a customer or a highlight of a product or whatever, trying to help inspire them with some ideas for content. But what are some things that you would recommend just in ideas and being creative and really setting yourself apart? Because that's what we want to do, right? We don't want to be a cookie cutter.
I think the number one thing that sets you apart from everyone else is your story. So one piece of content I've noticed that's always performs well on no matter what type of account you have is like your brand story, your personal brand story, and really taking that and talking about different aspects of that. And if you are ever feeling, oh my gosh, I'm in a creative rut or I have no content ideas, like you content, right? Like you have built this brand, even in the beauty industry, like people come to you for a specific reason. So thinking about why do they come to you and what do you offer them? So like, why am I going to Susie over here to go get my Botox instead of going to Janice? It's like
Right.
that. It's because there's something that you're getting from there and there's something you're receiving. And so think about those things that make your business unique. And they can be the simplest things. It's, oh, we have same day booking. That's something that
Right.
makes you unique because a lot of the times maybe somebody doesn't have that type of thing. So thinking about your uniqueness is one type of content idea where you think about, okay, like this is what makes me different from everyone else. And then the personal brand story. And I love the behind the scenes, and it comes specifically to beauty. I actually, and I think a lot of people, we all do it. I would watch videos of somebody getting a service and I'm not getting it. I would watch that. Like, how many of you like watched the Dr. Pimple Popper and she's popping all these pimples? We're not
Right.
doing that ourselves. We're so in tune with it. You're like captivated by that thing. And I think a lot of the times as you're doing it, if it's something you do all the time, it's just, oh, this is boring. Let's say you're setting up the day. Like somebody
I love it.
that.
I completely agree. Completely agree. I absolutely love watching people. My biggest thing that I enjoy watching, like you said, setting up the salon for the day. Watch me do a deep clean on my studio or watch me close down my shop at the end of the night. But for me, watching services, I absolutely love watching people get a facial. I'm sitting there and they're doing all the little face massaging and the hands are going like this and the hands are going like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm envisioning being on that table, getting that service done by them and enjoying the service. So I completely agree with you. I'm obsessed with watching those kind of videos. In fact, if you probably went on my like Instagram For You page of all the suggested content, it's most definitely going to be those. So the ones I watch and those are the ones I interact with.
But do you create them?
I don't. Of course, I'm not providing services. And again, when I was providing services, we're talking 2020, 21. We're in the middle of the pandemic. Instagram was completely different. The kind of content we were providing was completely different. I think Reels had barely come out in 20. And I was late to the game doing Reels in the beginning of 21. But I want you to expand a little bit more on some ideas that you have. Now, again, I always say, I know what you're talking about, but maybe my listeners and my followers don't. So expand a little bit more when you mention brand story, telling what your brand story is.
So when you're thinking about a brand story, it's your like brand origin story. So this is the thing that you're known for. And a lot of the times it stems from where you started, like what made you start your business. So when you're thinking, okay, so someone comes up to you and they're like, oh my gosh, like how did you start your business? Then that is going to be your brand story most of the time, because it's like, oh, this and this happened, and then this is how I started it. And if you're listening, you're like, I don't have a brand story. Then what I want you to do, yes, you do. And I want you to sit down and journal about your point A to point Z. So like where you started and where you're at now, and just journal, have fun, journal, don't overthink it. And then when you're done journaling it, I want you to highlight the things that stand out. And when I mean stand out, it means that they're different from people in your industry. So for example, if you opened a spa, then you would highlight that because maybe some people didn't open a spa and they started at an office, whatever it is, that's different from other people. Then you want to highlight those things. And then those things are going to be the things that make you unique from other people most of the time. And then you're going to take those things and those are going to be the main topics when you're talking about it. So for example, if the thing that makes you different is you do a high-up pen or you started experimenting on a specific like modality or something,
right,
then you would put that, or you were one of the first people to train for this, or even if you're a trainer, right? Because if somebody says like they train other people, I'm like, oh, they must be really good. Like I need to book with her because she trains other people. So then you're going to take those things that really stand out, and then you're going to take that conversation from before where somebody asks you, like, what is it that you do? And then you're going to insert those keywords in there. So, for example, I'd say, oh my goodness, I actually own a beauty business, and here's the different types of offers that I have. And actually, the way that I started is blah, 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 right? And the way that I kind of format that brand story is by putting your services first, but you don't always have to put your services first, but just thinking about who your client or who you're talking to at that point. And I always say to have a sort of elevator pitch, right? That's going to be your brand story too, where you have a small section of your brand story. So quick, like if you meet somebody and then they're like, oh, what do you do? Then this is 1 to 2 sentences explaining what it is that you do. And so that is just like a little bit so that people can understand. And when you have that in place with your personal brand story, that allows other people to, like, that's how you get clients at the grocery store. It's because you have those small conversations.
No, absolutely. I know for me, when people ask me, oh, what is it that you do? Whatever. I always joke and I'm like, oh, I'm unemployed. They're like, really? I'm like, no, I'm just joking. No, but I tell them I have an online beauty academy and I help beauty entrepreneurs or beauty professionals build an iconic brand and hit their first 10K month. So I'm talking about when people think, oh, I have a beauty brand or I have a beauty business, they automatically think products or services. It's no, I'm in my own little realm. This is what I have. This is who we are. This is who we serve. This is who I help. These are the people that I work with. So I really like that. And I loved your idea too of more of an actionable item, because actually just recently I was in Las Vegas with my son. He had a tournament for paintball. And so while I was back at the hotel getting ready, I said, you know what? I'm going to record my behind the scenes or my talking story, as I call it, but I'm going to record my brand story because people ask me very often, how did you get into the beauty business? They either assume that I've always been in the beauty industry. And I'm like, yeah, no, my background is business and finance. So here's my story. This is how I got into it. But I recorded it and I chopped it up and everything. So it's about 3-4 minutes long. But that's what I did. While I'm getting ready, I'm recording and I'm telling my brand story so that I can then turn that into, like you said, content. But I love your idea of journaling. And for me, I like to call it word vomiting because sometimes you get so what is the word I want to say? Like you get so focused on the proper grammar and telling the story accurately. And that's what I do when I'm writing. So it's a lot easier for me to speak my story and just word vomit and not be focused on those things. And I like your idea. And I'm actually going to take this idea and run with it, where I talk about my journey of when obviously I told how I got started, but where I started, right? My day one to where I am now. And then being able to pull out certain pieces of content, like you said, those highlighting the pivotal moments or events. Because even when I think about where I started, and this is freaking hilarious, but where I started when I started the courses, I started marketing the courses, I released them. And then with the courses, I've had products. When I first started selling products, I didn't want to have products. So what I did was I drop shipped. For those of you who don't know, drop ship means I place an order when I get an order. And then that product, whatever it is, it comes from the supplier and it gets shipped to the customer, right? Kind of a blind shipping. And so because of that process, it takes 30, 45 days to get to the customer. That's not a good idea. Anyways, long story short, I said, this isn't going to work. This is taking too long. I'm going to start ordering products, right? So I would ship the product from my house. I had a glue stick. I kid you not. I'd print out the shipping label. I'd print it on a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, for my handy dandy printer and I'd cut the shipping label and I'd take the glue stick and glue it on the back of that piece of paper, right? And I'd slap it on my little envelope and I'd ship one teeth whitening pen. One, right? For $15, right? Like, and I can envision myself in my kitchen with my little Dollar Tree glue stick, right? And shipping out this one product and taking it to the mailbox and so forth. Now I have a warehouse with all of my products and I've got a shipping company that sends everything out daily and all my products get shipped direct. I don't even see the product. So again, I say this because it's funny to me to think back where I was in the journey. And this is a great piece of content and an idea for content of that journey from then to now and where I was, how I got there, the transformation, the transition, right? So again, I say that story because it's funny to me to think back of sitting in my kitchen with a dang Dollar Tree glue stick, slapping that label, that piece of paper. Embarrassing, but funny, right? Now it's a multi-million-dollar beauty academy and we've got suppliers and shippers and warehouses and teams and all of that kind of stuff. But anyways, enough about me. So when you talk about monetizing, what I know that is one area of your expertise, what do you think that is a great way? Obviously, these are beauty service professionals. They're providing a service and maybe they don't have a digital product to sell or anything like that, but there is still a way for them to monetize their content in that they are attracting clients to get services. What would be your advice for them?
So I would say one thing that comes straight off is utilizing like links, which I mean, it's a micro income, but when you start stacking, it makes so much sense, right? So thinking of the things that are in your spa, like if you're doing a spa tour and you're like, here's what we have and here's this, and you never know what other people in the beauty industry are following you or following up with what you're doing, or if you're somebody who's your coffee in the morning, or I always for everyone to have an Amazon storefront or know it so that they could make those links and just have them readily available. Because if you think about things that you have, I love your glasses right now, right? So it's, oh my God, I love your glasses. You have them. And then it's, oh, here's the link. And then you send the link and get paid from that. Obviously, it's not millions of dollars, but as you're growing your business, it's a way for you to make income without having to worry about it. Like it's something that you can put a link in your bio and say, okay, there it is. And then the best way for beauty industry to increase or create another stream of income is by utilizing the people that are already coming in and getting their services. And so doing those stamp stickers where, you know, the number of times you come in, you get the discount so that you get that recurring person coming in, but also doing referral type of things. So if somebody refers you, then you're able to get in that way. And then another one that comes off the top of my mind is hosting parties, right? Like allowing somebody to host an event or something at their house and you'll come and you'll do this for them and you showcase, and then that can multiply from there, right? It's like you coming and then you have the party and then it's like it multiplies from there. Because I think about like things like they have and like the different types of businesses, right, that do more of still like, more like MLM sales. You don't really have to have that in order to utilize that type of strategy in order to make more sales in your beauty business. And so another thing I think too, a lot of beauty industry people miss out is on the email marketing option. Leveraging that email list. I'll be having people sign up on that little sheet where you go places, but what do you do with those emails? If nobody ever receives an email from you, then they don't know you exist. And so I think that's like a definite place where a beauty industry can definitely make more income. And what I mean by that is by incorporating the simplest thing is to do a birthday coupon, right? Where you say, like, it's your birthday, here's a coupon for you to come in to do flash sales you could do, or it's this week we're doing 2 for 1, or we're doing this type of special. And then also just the awareness, allowing people to know like how many appointments have left. People love if they see to themselves, if my nail place were to message me right now, or she'll message me and be like, oh my gosh, we have 2 more spots this week open. I'm probably going to go look at what spots are open. Oh, I might not be ready, but it's because there's that awareness to the front, right? Because you've got to think that when it comes to things like self-care, people are putting that at the very last. And so utilizing email marketing will allow you to be more in the front facing and for people to be like, ding, oh, I haven't booked my appointment. Oh, I haven't done this.
Girl, I completely agree, because not only did you talk about the affiliate marketing, you talked about the email marketing and everything else. Because for me, I started the affiliate marketing about not quite a year ago. And I have the Amazon storefront, and honey, that's a joke, but that's a whole nother story. That's 3%. It's so minimal. But I said, you know what? Something's better than nothing. Because before that, I was referring my students to buy these products from Amazon, and I'm not making anything. So now I'm at least making something. So even if it's $100 or $200 a month or whatever it is, right? That's better than nothing. Now I started growing my affiliate links so not only do I have affiliates that refer and make money for making those referrals, but I also have affiliates. So being able to promote products that my students would use already, the scalp courses, the scalp products, or referring people to, what is it, like a boot camp that I know that they could benefit from, things along those lines, right? Now I'm able to make, and like you said, diversifying your income. So that's a great opportunity for people. And then when it comes to email marketing, I literally was just talking about this last week with somebody, because I myself have a large email marketing subscriber list as well as SMS. And when I started, it was email only. And then I switched it to SMS. And now it's email and SMS, so that I'm growing both of them, right? Because they each serve different purposes, and each of them can promote different types of content. So even if I'm sending out something that's informational, at the footer, I still have my podcast link. I still have information on how to follow us, how to find our website, all of that kind of stuff. And I myself, being in the business over 4 years, didn't even realize the power of email marketing, because this last year, the end of the year, I did an analysis on a whole bunch of different stuff. And do you know that I realized half of my income in the last several years has come from nurturing with the emails and the SMS campaigns? Half. That is, we're not talking Facebook and Google ads, right? Or Instagram ads. We're talking from people within my network that I'm nurturing with content and information and newsletters and flash sales and all of that. Those are the people that are your warm leads that you're constantly nurturing, that are going to end up either one, becoming longtime clients, or even not even just longtime clients, but repeat clients, right? And so the power of the email marketing is 100% amazing, whether it's email or SMS. And here's the other thing: Instagram, TikTok, when that stuff goes down or it gets banned or this, that, or whatever, you have that email or subscriber list to fall back on. Or if your account gets shut down and now you have to create a new account, now you have that subscriber list to send an email out to and say, hey, Sally, Susie, John, whoever, my account got shut down. Here's a link. Follow me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm 100% on the same page as you, girl. Attaliah, I really appreciate you taking the time with us today. I have absolutely not only enjoyed chatting with you and getting some tips for not only myself, but my listeners as well, but really just being able to gain from your expertise. I think that my listeners and my followers would absolutely love to follow you and get in contact with you. So where and how can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Attaliah Strubel. On my blog, there's so much information on there. It's www.attaliahstrubel.com. I also have a podcast, Socially Paid. And so if you are looking for different ways to diversify your income, then come hang out with us on there. There's so many different episodes for that.
Awesome. And can you do my listener, can you spell your first and last name as well?
Yes, of course. My first name is Talia, Ataliah, last name Strubel, Strube.
So for those of you who didn't hear the last part, it was Strubel, Strubel. It cut off a little bit. Anyways, awesome. Thank you again so much, Attaliah. I really appreciate it. And until next time.
That's a wrap for today's Beauty Business Breakthroughs. I hope you found these insights valuable and actionable for your beauty business. Remember, success in this industry is within your reach. If you're hungry for more and ready to take your beauty business to the next level, consider joining our Get Fully Booked Accelerator program. We are dedicated to helping beauty professionals like you achieve extraordinary success with strategies that can take your business to 10K per month and beyond. Simply send us a direct message on Instagram, Lux Beauty and Body Co., with the word success, and we'll provide you with all of the details on how you can be a part of this game-changing program. Your journey to a thriving beauty business starts now. Thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep making those beauty business breakthroughs.